Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Like I promised, I have my birth story video. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's gonna be a long one, so don't forget to get comfortable. I have right here my little notebook, so I don't leave out any type of details. So let's get right to it. So we're gonna go back to my 20-week ultrasound. They found out I had marginal insertion of the umbilical cord. So the cord attaches to the edge of the placenta. This happens 7% of single pregnancies and 25% of twin pregnancies. I did my little research on some of these things just because they never told me what these things were. The risk of preeclampsia, preterm birth, low birth weight, and emergency C-sections were doubled. And this could not be prevented and the cause is unknown. Okay, so at my 32 weeks, they found out on my ultrasound that I had intrauterine growth restriction. So what this means is that the baby is not growing as what they're supposed to during this time. Fewer than 200,000 pregnancies get this every year. There's no cure for this. It's genetic or it's caused by umbilical cord abnormalities, which unfortunately I had both. Because of this reason, I had to have her at 37 weeks if the pregnancy was going okay. Because of what they found out, I had to have doctor's appointments every Monday and Thursday for ultrasounds and non-stress tests. So for the ultrasound, they check the amniotic fluid and they check the blood flow from the placenta to the baby, make sure everything's okay. For the non-stress test, they measure the heart rate and make sure the baby is moving like he or she is supposed to. And it also detects contractions. Also, because I was gonna deliver at 37 weeks, if everything went well, I had to have some steroid shots right on top of my back. I had to have two. One was taken on Tuesday right after my ultrasound appointment, and the next one had to be taken 24 hours after, so I got it on Wednesday. And what those shots were supposed to do, or is supposed to do, is to mature the baby's lung. It helps decrease oxygen support when the baby is born. So I got all of that done. So that Friday, September 20th, me and Mimo closed on our home. So we got our home 3 days before the baby was born. Let's get my actual birth story started. I'm gonna try not to get emotional because this was really traumatic for me, and you guys will know why. On Monday at my 33-week appointment, I had my doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. So they did the ultrasound. The ultrasound was completely fine, and then they took me down to get my non-stress test. So the non-stress test, they attached two little monitors on me, one's for the heart rate and then the other one's for the contractions. The nurse hooked me up and she closed the curtain. The rooms are divided by curtains. She closed the curtain where I was at. She walked away to go to her desk. Not even 2 seconds later, Eileen's heart rate went down from like 140-ish to, not even kidding, 30 beats per minute. When this happened and I heard it, I knew something was wrong. I was like, this is not normal. Right away, 3 nurses came in rushing, started tossing and turning me in the recliner chair, and this all happened in like 5 seconds. Her heart rate went down for like 5 seconds, went right back up to 140, and I started freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. Not that long after, the doctor came in and explained to me that I had to be admitted for a few hours to make sure that the baby was okay and this wouldn't happen again. At this point, I started tearing up. I was like, oh, all I wanted was Eileen to be healthy, Eileen to be okay. So they sent me up to the recovery room. They had no rooms available. When I went to my appointment, I was completely alone. My mom was working maybe an hour away, and then Mimo was unfortunately working 4 hours away in Wisconsin. I was alone. I was laying down watching TV. just chilling. I still had the non-stress test on me, and maybe 15 minutes, you know, laying down, chilling, her heart rate goes back down, maybe to the 70-ish. At that moment, it hit me again. I was like, this is crazy. I really don't want to deliver my baby at 33 weeks. So this happened again, 5 seconds. Three nurses again came into the room, started tossing and turning me. And then I realized my OB doctor was working that day, was out, which I was so grateful for, because she is literally the best doctor anyone could have. So she was there, and she told me that I had to get an IV inserted. She gave me an oxygen mask. She also said I had to stay at the hospital overnight to make sure that the baby and I were okay. So I called up my mom. I told her to get out of work and come here. I told Memo to not worry about me. I kept updating him, but I told him not to worry about me. I just didn't want him coming for no reason. Like, I didn't want him missing out work if I wasn't gonna deliver. Like, there was no point for that. Still in the recovery room before my mom got there, her heart rate dropped 2 more times. Again, I don't remember exactly how low it went, but I mean, hearing her heart rate, I knew it went down low. When like the 3rd or 4th time her heart rate went down, I realized that my stomach was tightening every time her heart rate dropped. So I told my OB nurse about that, or OB doctor about that, and she told me that she checked the monitor, the non-stress test monitor, and realized that I was having contractions when her heart rate would drop. I asked my OB doctor at this point, I was like, please let me know if I'm gonna deliver today, because I want my husband to be here for the birth of his daughter. She was like, I am not completely sure. We have to wait and see. Give me a moment, Ailey's starting to cry. So around 5 p.m., I finally got my room. And not long after, my mom and my brother came, and they were just in the room with me. I was, again, watching TV, laying down in bed, attached to the non-stress test. While in that room, her heart rate went down again 3 more times. And again, like always, 3 or 4 nurses would come into the room and start tossing and turning me, repositioning me to make sure, you know, everything was fine. At the 3rd or 4th time her heart rate dropped, they had me, this was the last time, well, not the last time, but they had me on my knees, my hands and knees, with the oxygen mask, trying to breathe and go through the contractions, make sure her heart rate would be back up. And my OB doctor came in, and she told me that unfortunately I had to deliver the baby, and it had to be via emergency C-section. At this point, in my hands and knees, holding my mask and my glasses, because my glasses were like coming off, I started bawling my eyes out. So many things crossed my mind, and I didn't know what to expect. I was just freaking out. And I was crying, telling my mom to call Memo and to come right away. I knew he wasn't gonna come here on time for the surgery, but I just wanted him to be here, to be able to meet his daughter and be with me. My mom also called my mother-in-law, and she came with my kuñis, Areli. Thankfully, Memo got a rental car from his job. One person was allowed in the room with me, and I picked my mom to be there with me since Memo wasn't able to be there. Not that long after, the anesthesiologist came in and explained his role and what he was gonna do. He said because of my height, he wasn't able to give me the whole dose of the anesthesia. And sorry if I'm pronouncing these words wrong, because he was more worried of my blood pressure going down. I don't remember the time when they took me back to the OR or the operating room, but they wheeled me down. They had me sitting down in this like table type of thing at the edge. One hand I was holding onto my OB doctor, and the other hand I was holding hand with one of the nurses. I was squeezing their hand while the anesthesiologist was putting the anesthesia shots on my back. That shot actually stung. It felt like a bee sting. Once that was inserted, they had me lay down. They put in right away the Foley catheter. They strapped my legs. They put the little curtain or drape from here. I couldn't see past down there. And then I was just laying down. The blood pressure cuff was going off every minute, not even kidding, making sure my blood pressure was okay. So once my OB doctor started cutting me open, beginning of the surgery, my mom was allowed to come in. She sat right next to me, holding my hand. Everything was going fine. Up until 8:20 when my daughter was born. She came out, she started crying, and honestly, that is the best feeling in the whole world. Being able to hear your baby cry. I actually thought she wasn't gonna cry. I thought that, you know, everything was gonna happen so quick. Well, everything was going great. The baby was born. Right when Eileen was born, I didn't see her. They put her into this little room that was inside the operating room. Like 3 NICU nurses were there, 2 or 3, I can't remember exactly, taking care of her. And next thing I knew, I started feeling everything. I felt so much pain. When I tell you so much pain, I've never felt this pain ever in my life. It was horrible. It was really bad. I, not even kidding, had like 3 panic attacks there. Like, I was freaking out. My mom was right next to me holding my hand, trying to calm me down. She was holding my hand, trying to calm me down. And I remember just crying, telling her that I couldn't do it no more. That I couldn't do it no more. The pain was so bad. I felt when they were closing me, I felt them pulling, I felt the needle. My mom told the anesthesiologist to give me something for the pain. So he told me he already has. He gave me already 4 doses of pain medications. He gave me 2 of morphine and 2 of fentanyl, and nothing was helping me. The surgery literally felt like it was never going to end. My whole body was shaking. It was just a really, really horrible experience. So at this point, the anesthesiologist ended up giving me, I don't remember if he gave it to me or if my OB doctor gave it to me, but they did local anesthesia, so they gave me shots around my incision, so I wouldn't be able to feel it, which obviously it helped a little bit, but I was still hurting. I was still in pain. I kept telling the doctor or the anesthesiologist I wanted more pain medication, and he told me that if he was to give me any more of pain medications, that I was gonna completely forget the birth of my daughter. And I just started crying even more. A few minutes later, the nurses wheeled out Eileen in the incubator right next to me. And I look at her, and she wasn't on oxygen. She didn't have any type of oxygen support. And that literally made me so happy. And it honestly made me so happy that she didn't need oxygen at that point. Like, the shots were so worth it. They were so painful, but I didn't even care at this point. Like, she was so perfect. Her little hat, she kept staring at me. She wasn't crying. She was just so perfect. And I was just so happy. I was so happy. Like, nothing even mattered anymore. So after closing me up, a lot went blank. At this point, I think all the medications started to kick in, unfortunately. But I remember my mom leaving the operating room, but I don't remember leaving the operating room. I just remember being in the recovery room again, laying down in the stretcher. I had water, which, let me tell you, I wasn't allowed to eat anything since I got to the hospital, so drinking that glass of cold water was amazing. Like I said, I remember being in the room, and I remember Memo showing up into that room, and he kissed me and he asked me how I was feeling, and I just remember being super shaky, and it sucked because it would hurt. Shaking my incision, it would really hurt. So it's just something I couldn't control. I was just telling him about the baby, that she was perfect, and I told him to hurry up and go see her. So around like 9:30 p.m. he went up, or he went up to the NICU to go meet her. I was just laying down trying to, you know, relax and stuff. And then Memo came back and took pictures, showed me pictures of Eileen. I'm gonna be hopefully inserting pictures of the moments of everything that happened. And then after this, I don't remember anything. I don't remember a lot after this. So according to Memo, this is gonna be Memo's story, which I highly doubt that it happened. I mean, there's gonna be a part where I highly doubt that happened. But, so this is Memo's story. So he said that they wheeled me in the stretcher up to the NICU and I got to see the baby again, which I don't remember. Unfortunately, sadly, I don't remember seeing her that same day. I remember the next day when he wheeled me up to see her, but I just don't remember. But he told me I went to go see her. We were there for a few minutes and then they took me to my actual room. Getting to my room in the stretcher, this is Memo's story. I guess I needed help getting from the stretcher to the bed. So Memo said that there was 5 nurses trying to get me from the stretcher to the bed, but I was fighting them. I was yelling at them, telling them to get off me, throwing punches and whatever, which I highly doubt because I work at a hospital. I know the feeling of that from a patient and I would never do that to anyone. But during the night, a nurse would come in every 2 hours and press on my belly, make sure everything was going fine. I wasn't getting any blood clots and none of that. And they provided me a breast pump so I can pump milk for the baby. I was pumping every 2 hours. 12 hours later from 8:20, so at 8:20 a.m., they removed my Foley catheter. I was able to get up, go to the bathroom, use the bathroom myself. Recovery for me, it was tough. It was really tough. It was just nothing compared to the surgery that I went through. Memo, while I was in the hospital, Memo would get me into the wheelchair, help me into the wheelchair, and he would take me down to go see the baby. And I got to feel her, touch her, see her. These pictures I haven't really posted anywhere. I didn't really post her at all when she was in the hospital, just because I didn't know what to expect. Baby Eileen was born on September 23rd, Monday at 8:20 p.m. She was weighing at 3 pounds, 3 ounces. No oxygen support. It sucked going home on that Wednesday without her. It broke my heart because all I wanted her was to be home. And she's home now, which I'm so grateful for. Just seeing how perfect she is makes me so happy. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video. I hope I didn't leave any detail out. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Say hi, Mama. Say hi. She's waking up from her nap. Oh, yeah, girl, stretch it out. Ooh.